Hey there, welcome to the Jar Full of Life channel, the path to happiness and fulfillment. I'd like to introduce you to three of my neighbors and also thank them for sharing their life stories with us. Joe Stevenson, 37 years old, an ex-vice president at the world's largest software company, living with his parents currently. Indu Singh, 71 years old, a retired school teacher, living alone at home. Ritu De, 22 years old, a part-time saleswoman and a professional musician, living with her younger brother. Let us first hear Ritu's life story, and oh boy, what a story. For someone her age to be what she is today, I really salute her. Ritu De was born and raised as the daughter of a highly educated and wealthy entrepreneur couple in West Bengal, India. Her parents gave her and her brother unbounded love. Her parents spotted her love and prodigal talent for music very early on and encouraged her when she wanted to learn violin professionally. Driven by her sheer passion and talent, Ritu went on to earn a diploma from the Juilliard School. She also recorded for 2 movies and played on stage professionally in a top London-based orchestra. With such a great life and everything going for her, she lost her parents in a plane crash. Her life overnight burned down to ashes. She and her brother were orphaned, had their parents' property snatched, and left in near abject poverty. All of 19 years when this happened, Ritu didn't even get time to figure out the chaos as she had to fight for survival, not just her own, but her brother's as well. She took up any work that came her way, most recently as a saleswoman in an electronics store for sustenance and also to fund her younger brother's education. To quote her, she was like a celebrity's pampered poodle deserted on the streets and left to fend for itself. She had to figure out life and living in the hardest and harshest way possible. She faced starvation and unending darkness, but her spirit for life, childlike heart, and willpower never died. She single-handedly turned her life around. What do you think Ritu's thoughts about her life would be? She considers herself to be really lucky for having had the best parents anybody could have, and the most loving brother too. She says that the professional musical training provided by her late parents is a blessing as well as a lifesaver. Ritu says she is very happy in life, except that she dearly misses her parents every day. She is grateful that her parents gave her everything to live life with self-esteem, achieve her dreams, and be truly happy. Now I'll tell you about Indu Singh. Indu is the resident of the Rise Senior Living Center in Bangalore. Anybody looking for her in the 2-story building only needs to follow her echoing laughter. She's hard to catch up with on weekdays, as she moves swiftly between her baking classes, gardening, yoga session, teaching online, having a long afternoon nap, and a bhajan session to close off the day. On weekends, she's out exploring the city with her buddies. She's unlike most any seniors you would have seen, extremely energetic, agile, and always happy. She and her life until 3 years ago were total opposites of what they are today. For over 48 years, she struggled in life. Indu's husband abandoned her and their 2-month-old son when she was just 21 years old. She was evicted from their home with nothing more than a suitcase of clothes, 1,000 rupees in hand, and her infant son clinging onto her. She took up the job of a tutor with a high school education not helping her get anything better. She restarted her life, finished her graduation remotely, and got herself a teaching job as she started to raise her son. She sacrificed all her likes and passions to ensure she gave her son the best life and education within limited means. Her son meant the world for Indu, and she loved him more than anything else. Indu's 20-year-old struggle paid off when she was able to send him to the top engineering school, and he eventually became the general manager of a large conglomerate. Although her son began drifting away from her since he started working, he completely cut his ties with his mother after he got married and had a son. It took Indu many years to realize that her son, who meant the world to her, was doing exactly what her husband did to her, abandoning her. She went through heartbreak and betrayal for no fault of her. For over a decade, she tried reaching out to him to stay in touch and to rekindle his love for her, but always faced rejection and humiliation. Her son didn't even bother to clear off the debts she had taken on, only to fund his graduation. After struggling for many years to accept reality as well as overcome betrayal and abandonment by a son she sacrificed most of her life for and loved more than anything else, she restarted her life recently. She moved into a senior home, started living for herself finally, and rediscovered true happiness. Do you know what Indu believes and tells her buddies? I may have faced hardships and pain most of my life, but I thank God each day for giving me the best health and letting me discover true happiness in life at a stage when others just count days to their death in misery and ill health. Finally, let's get to know Joe, who's settled in Kerala with his parents. Joe's life was the definition of a conventional success story. He excelled in academics, went to Ivy League schools, captained his university basketball team, got picked up by the world's largest software company on a fast-track leadership program, and went on to become the youngest vice president of the firm. On the personal front, he was a thorough gentleman, always close to his parents, engaged to marry his longtime girlfriend, and loved traveling. His three buddies were like brothers to him, always hanging out together, and they shared a love for adventure. He had bought 2 homes already, one in California and one in Kerala, India, the place he loved and selected to be his retirement destination. He was on a holiday in the Namibian desert with his buddies, conquering the harshest, most dangerous and remote stretches of the country. On the 3rd day, they were off-roading, driving at 100 kmph on an empty desert path when an oryx appeared out of nowhere as it ran across their path. Joe, who was driving, in a bid to save the animal, lost control of the speeding SUV, sending it into a cannon roll, eventually erupting in flames, trapping and burning to death all his buddies while he lay unconscious on the ground as he was thrown out of the SUV. Joe was rescued by tourists passing by, was airlifted to the top South African hospital where he underwent 7 surgeries but still ended up paralyzed below his chest given his severe spinal injury. His parents reached the next day and found out that their son would probably never walk again and he was only barely alive. Joe had just 2 options: either get depressed, give up and die, or accept reality, never give up in true Spartan style and restart his life, if not just for himself but for his parents to whom he meant the world. Therefore began his multi-year struggle to get back to life with his 60 plus years old parents by his side every waking hour. For his parents, it was like they were raising an infant, as Joe was in a state where he could barely even drink water on his own. Beating every single odd, including losing his buddies and his girlfriend walking out on him, Joe reached a stage where he could move around on a wheelchair. 2 years passed by then, and he no longer had his job or a source of income. Thanks to his parents' support and his willpower, Joe never let his challenge come in the way of his love for life and zeal to get back. He quickly began freelancing and consulting from his home, gradually getting back to life and again built quite a career. Having had to sell off most of what he had, including his home in California, for his treatment, Joe and his parents moved into his Kerala home. Joe says he is happy as always, perhaps happier now than ever. He feels he has a great life and says he's blessed that God chose to live with him in the form of his parents, and is grateful to his parents for making him the man he is today. Well, here we are again. We heard 3 very diverse yet extremely interesting life stories. For each of the stories, you have a choice to make about the perspective you identify with. You could either see them as stories which show how life can be brutal, vulnerable, and filled with sadness, or see and feel the way the 3 of them did: grateful, excited, and overall happy. All 3 of our characters counted their blessings and focused on making the most out of the life they had in front of them, rather than brood over the past, feel dejected, and give up on life as well as happiness. So, focus on the blessings in your life, be grateful, and achieve genuine, fulsome, and true happiness.